Good evening and welcome back to Prime of Midlife. It's Saturday evening and oh my goodness, I don't think I've stopped all day. It has been one of those days which makes me feel nothing but admiration for people with larger families. Um, I have done my clothes washing today. I've done loads of dishes. I've taken stuff out the freezer. I've finished a blanket. I've sorted out the sitting room. I've sorted out some of the freezer. I have redone my bedding, put clean bedding on. I have taken the glass to the recycling, and it just seems non-stop. And I had this thought to myself going, day off. What's a day off? Does anyone actually get a day off? Because when it's your day off, you've got to get yourself ready for your next week at work. So you have 2 days off if you're lucky. If you're lucky, they're together, which I am. But one of them, or two halves of them, is always done on catching up with the house, getting the shopping done, getting the cooking done, getting the washing done. And I was like, I feel very hard done by. And then as I was sitting finishing off crocheting my blanket, I was like, oh my goodness. Imagine if I'd had more kids than just one. Imagine if I had to look after a bigger family. I'd have been shocked and shooketh. So to anyone out there who has or is still looking after a larger family, which for me is anything with two parents and two kids, or one parent and two kids, or any juxtaposition of such a lot, any more than just two of you, basically. Well done. Have a smug. Because, granted, I have done lots today, there is still lots to do. But appreciation is needed for those of you who are dealing with more, who are dealing with larger families, who are dealing with caring for others, who are dealing with caring for family members, who are dealing with extended families. I've got quite enough to do with just Kathleen, me, and the dog. See, look at me being nice and calling it a dog, not a dog. But yeah, I have been on the go all day. I mean, there's only been like 4 cups of tea all day, which is a very low average for me. And I just had that thought when I was sitting finishing off the blanket, and I was like, how do people do it? Because I am exhausted. So yeah, kudos to anyone doing that for more than like 2 people. Because I take my hat off to you. You're doing fabulous. Don't ever think you're not. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be working for you. That's all you need. So yeah, that's my first part of the video. My second part is part of today's work was I took out stuff from the freezer. I have got 4 pork loin steaks. I have got chicken breast mini fillets, and I have got mince. Now, I was sitting thinking, what am I going to do with the mince? Because Kathleen and I have both agreed that mince from the farm was far superior, like by a country mile superior to the stuff from the supermarket. And obviously it's the supermarket stuff I've got here. Now, I have 650 grams in this pack of mince. See, large pack of mince. And I was like, well, I'm going to have to disguise it now because we like And I thought, actually, no, what you can do is you can get some real mince tomorrow from the farm shop, if they've got any, and do some of this big pack of mince as bolognese and disguise it, because I know a lot of people use mince for chilli. I don't eat chilli. I find it too spicy for me. Typical Scots person, not used to spicy foods. Kathleen, my daughter, is horrified at me. But, I don't eat chilli. I don't like the texture of red kidney beans either, so it's not something that I make. And I don't have that many recipes for anything else to do with mince, to be honest. So I'm thinking what I'll do is if I half that and put some in for bolognese, and then mix the other half with the really good mince, then that will give us a lot of portions of mince in the freezer that will taste better than this would normally. So that's my cunning plan, is to mix it and stretch it out. The chicken and the pork, not sure what I'm going to do with them. They are pretty much about to get thrown in the slow cooker now with whatever I can find. I think the pork will probably have honey and soya sauce because I quite like that when it was done in the frying pan. Thinking that's going to be really nice in the slow cooker. So yeah, we'll probably do that. Possibly with some fizzy juice, maybe. Yeah, not quite sure what I'm doing with that. Chicken, again, not quite sure. I could do a curry, but I don't fancy a curry. But the one I do fancy is a creamy sauce. I could use evaporated milk. Look at me thinking on my feet. So yeah, that's the sort of thing we're looking at. So the whole reason I'm telling you this is because I intend to go into the farm shop tomorrow and get vegetables, because I remembered I had these. Now, I bought these, goodness knows how long ago, for when Mum and Dad were both at home, because I would take them up meals. And I was just thinking to myself, well, you know, if we're going to be doing the proper veggie veg, then that's what we'll do. Now, I had a couple sitting in the cupboard. So this is what they look like. And what I'm thinking, previously I would put the meat in there and the veg in there. I am thinking, for the expensive meat especially, we'll be putting the meat in there and the veg in there, which I think is probably the way it's supposed to go, actually. So that's my plan, is to get a few of them done, get them in the freezer, get them in the fridge, so that I am sorted for when I come home from work during the week, and so is Kathleen. So yeah, it's going to be a busy cooking day tomorrow. Not really, because literally everything's getting thrown in the slow cooker. So yeah, we'll see how we go on. I will update you tomorrow. Catch you later.